Good morning, everyone. I decided to post this by video rather than a long post you'd have to read, but this post is primarily for my family and for any of you that are my Facebook friends that played for me at some point in my past. If you played for me back in the 70s, then you probably haven't met my wife, Gail. She has been my wife for the last 33 years. She's been my support, my encourager, and my best friend, and I wanted you to meet her first.
Hi, everybody. I hope you're well and that you're making it through this pandemic just great. And I just want to say I encourage you to get this book. It is very interesting, and I enjoyed it.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I named this book In the Right Place at the Right Time because that pretty much describes my career as a coach. I think I have a kind of a unique story because I coached in 3 different states: Louisiana, Arkansas, and Texas. There are not very many coaches still around that coached both the 6-man game in girls basketball and the 5-man game. When I was coaching at Phillips in 1977 and 78, we were in 6-man. Then the next year, the same team I had, we had to go and transition to 5-man basketball. That's when Texas high schools changed. And the difference in the two is enormous. But I talk about that in the book. But basically, I coached for 10 years right out of college. I went into business for 25 years. I retired from that business, and then I went back into coaching for another 10 years. The players in the last 10 years were so different. They were, and in a lot of ways, they were different in good ways, but they were different from completely different generations. I know that I coached a couple of girls in the latter years whose mother I had coached when they were in high school. So, and the mindset, everything was different. I hope that I was different the last 10 years. I don't know. I'll let you be the judge of that when you read the book. Of course, the question you may be asking yourself, what did I say about you in the book? Well, you'll have to read it and find out. You know, for a coach to do anything, it doesn't matter what the sport is, you have to have some kind of talent. That's where I was lucky. You know, I had a college coach told me one time, he said, remember when you start coaching, remember something that's very important. If you act like you know what you're doing and you look like you know what you're doing, your players will believe you every time, at least until they find out you really don't know anything. So, and I think he was that was very true. You know, in 20 years of coaching, I had I had 14 All-State players, including a Parade All-American high school player, first team, also a college All-American. And in the last year, in preparing this, I talked to a lot of you that are still my friends and still keep up with me, and that's a blessing more to me than championships, but that players still, as mean as I was, you know, and that players still will have something to do with me. I especially want to thank Gail Buffington Caldwell. She wrote the foreword for the book for me, and she was one of my players in Arkansas. Now, this book is not for sale. I wouldn't be so presumptuous to say that anything I would write would be worth buying anyway. But if you played for me on a varsity team, and if I tagged you in this post, then I have a copy for you, and I will get it to you if you'll send me your mailing address. And my contact information is written on the post. Now, if you have players that you know, so many of my players are still in contact with me, as I said, but there are some that I have lost track of. If you know of a player that played on one of my varsity teams, feel free to share this video with them. It's on YouTube. They can contact me and let me know if they'd like to have a copy. I wrote this book in my own words. I did not have it edited. I did not have it, you know, check the spelling or anything else, because I wanted it to be as though I was talking to you, as I was talking to the reader. You know, in doing this research, I visited newspaper offices in 3 different states, and I found out a lot of things I really didn't know and about some of my teams. I also found out some things I'd forgotten. You know, when we're young, we're busy building memories. When we get old, sometimes we get to relive those memories as often as we want to, which I think is kind of nice. But of course, all of us in our lives have some bad memories that we'd rather not think about. But as we get older, I think we even look at those differently. I've always been thankful, not just for being able to be a coach, but I've always been thankful that players, when it's all said and done, I think really believed that I wanted the best they had. I wanted what was best for them as a team. I've always been a blessed man. I consider my coaching career to be one of my foremost blessings. So many great things happened to me, most of which were completely undeserved. I truly was in the right place at the right time. And my life as a coach was a real blessing. Thanks for listening. God bless you.